Yeah, we're going to talk some rugby now on the SportsMax zone. Jamaica's squad to the 8th Rugby World Cup Sevens tournament is set to leave the island on Saturday for Cape Town in South Africa. The event is set to run from the 9th to the 11th of September in the Cape Town Stadium. 24 men's and 16 women's teams are set to battle for honours this year. The Jamaicans will meet Scotland on the opening day in the pre-round of 16. Joining us in studio to discuss the competition is winger and hooker of the Jamaican team, Fabian Turner. That's Fabian with an O. We're joined online by Cenan Osborne, who is based in the United Kingdom. A shoulder injury means Cenan will be unable to suit up for the Jamaicans, but he's set to travel with the team to Cape Town and serve as analyst and assistant coach. Gentlemen, welcome to the SportsMax zone. Well, Fabian, you're already here. Let me talk to Cenan first. My first question, Cenan, how disappointing is it for you? Yes, you're going to be there, but an injury scuppering your opportunity to play.
I'm almost too used to it now. I got an injury last year in September during the Vancouver Sevens. So I spent 10 months on the sideline getting back for the Commonwealth Games, working with the team to be back for these tournaments. And yeah, here I am again on the medical bed. So getting too used to it at the moment. Yeah,
so how qualified are you to be analyst and assistant coach? I know you're a top player, but it's not the same skill set, is it?
Yeah, well, I guess it depends who's asking. Some of my teammates that I've been around with a long time will probably say not so. But I've done a fair bit of coaching here in the UK, and I've coached some stuff back in when I'm home in Jamaica as well. So it's something I'm not alien to, but yeah, it's the next best thing after playing.
Fabian, how good a coach is Cenan?
I'll say he'll have to speak for himself. You know? I don't want to say anything out of place. You know, but he is a pretty decent coach because, you know, on the field he's a captain and a captain of the ship, so he can dedicate and delegate instructions effectively, I would say. So he knows his stuff.
Okay, for the Commonwealth Games experience, not too good the results for the Jamaica team and the Rugby Sevens there. What went wrong for the team there, and how might you be able to lift the performances in Cape Town?
Okay, so it was actually good for us. We had
the losses?
Well, we had our first 2 wins in the Commonwealth Games.
Yes.
You know, so I mean, we are going up against tough teams. These are professionals, fully professional rugby players. We are semi-professional, you know, and so this helped us to see what we need to work on going forward and in preparation for the World Cup. So I would not say it's all negative, but we can take the positive from it. We have created history again. You know, our first ever win. Myself, my first ever try in a national tournament at the Commonwealth Games, and I must say we have analysed the game. We have come up with new game plans, new strategies, and what we need to work on to be a better team, a better competing team going into the World Cup. So I'll say that we have gotten some good from the Commonwealth Games.
Right, and Cenan, this one is for you. How much do you think that, you know, playing with the team and, of course, being a part of the team will assist in your new duties? And do you see it as being a long-term goal? Like, do you plan to get into coaching permanently when you decide to step away?
Yeah, I think I had a bit of experience coaching the team last year when I was injured, and it was something that I'm at that age now, I'm 29, where I haven't really been thinking about transition plans until the injury last year. And I think one thing we always talk about is can we leave the programme in a better place than when we started? And if that means once we're no longer playing, contributing in other ways, if this is a way that I can help the team, then sign me up, because that's all I want to do.
And from your coach's eyes, and of course not being biased at all, talk to me about the strengths of the team, the Jamaican team.
Yeah, do you know what? This is actually probably the most exciting squad I've seen in the 9 years I've been playing for a couple of reasons. One is we've got the old guard who have been playing together for the last 5-6 years, so they've helped build this programme. I think those new guys coming in are standing on the shoulders of giants, in my opinion, for Jamaican rugby. And now we've got a good crop of young players coming through who are really exciting and in a position where they can take up the mantle and really lead this programme forward. Both players in the UK, based in the US, and some really exciting players coming through on the island, like Beanie. He's a great young player. He's been learning from one of the old stalwarts on the island, O'Shea and Eddie. So I think there's a really exciting team to play this week, this World Cup coming up.
Right, and Fabian, you know, your first opponent will be Scotland.
Right.
I'm sure there'll be some tough opponents. Talk to me about the approach as a player going into the competition.
So first of all, we just have to be supportive of each other. We have to be encouraging because, like I said, it's a tough team. We know it's a tough team, but we have the ability to put on a show, and that's what we're going there to do. We're not going there to give anybody anything. Mm-hmm. So we're going out there to perform and represent our country. And, you know, so I'll be just encouraging each and every player throughout the competition, throughout the game, you know, through the warm-up session, just getting the mind right, getting that focus in, you know, to get the job done.
Yeah, Conan, Fabian spoke earlier on about, you know, taking positives from the Commonwealth Games experience because, you know, after some heavy losses to Kenya, Australia, England, and I think Uganda, coming up with a couple of victories against Sri Lanka and Malaysia. Could you put that in context for us and maybe just, you know, illustrate the point that Fabian is making, that even though there were some heavy losses, there were a couple of wins towards the back end and a future to look forward to?
Listen, there's a lot of pressure on this team. I think one of the things we were very proud of is we were the first men's team to go to back-to-back World Cups. I think the Reggae Boys went in '98 and now we've done it twice in a row. I think the thing is with that is that we're now a lot more in the media's eye, and so when we have these losses, people don't know the backstory behind the sport and how good these teams are that we're playing. So there's a lot of bad mouthing that goes on. But the way this is we're playing against the best players in the world. Australia had Karevi, who was the #1 player in the world last year. So these are good teams. And if we can go out there and it's small margins, some of those bigger results, you wouldn't believe that they are really small margins. If we can focus on some of those things that are happening, where we can tighten those up, those results can change massively. So we know what we're doing. We've got a new coach coming in for the World Cup, Frankie Horn. He's been working with some of the players in the US and some of our youngsters that we've sent over to the US as well. So there's a lot to come. And I think a big credit needs to go to Bruce, our technical director, and Houghton. They've been working behind the scenes on shoestring budgets to try and help grow this program. And if we keep growing in the way we have in the last few years, then those big losses are going to turn into small victories against some of those big teams.
Yeah, we know the World Cup assignment, Conan, in South Africa will be tough. What would you rate as success coming out of that tournament when you look at the overall task that faces a team?
Yeah, I think first and foremost is it's a huge cliche, but the guys having fun out there. It's 4 years in the making this, and you can get really swept up in the moment. Last time, 4 years ago in San Fran, I don't remember enjoying any of it because it was the first time we'd ever been and it was bright lights. And I think first and foremost, success is the boys actually coming out of it, having enjoyed it and with some things to progress on moving into our bigger competitions next year in terms of CAC and some of the local ones that we can win as well. So that's the kind of wider goal. But then on top of that is coming out with some victories. We didn't have any victories 4 years ago, and I think we're in a better place now to do that. So if we come out with some victories and some learnings, then every day is a school day. So hopefully things can just get bigger and better for us.
Yeah, and Fabian, having seen this team compete at the World Cup 4 years before, then the Commonwealth Games, and now a second opportunity to go back to the World Cup, how much do you anticipate that the growth from those two experiences will help you in Cape Town?
So first of all, I had the opportunity to play with a part of the new team that will be going to the World Cup. Young boys, they're excited, they're vibrant, they're just everything that you look for in an athlete. And so we are going to build on this, right? Even if it's not in our favor, these young gentlemen that is on the team will pave the way for rugby in Jamaica. I can tell you this. Ronaldinho Fraser, who's a local player as well, he'll be traveling with me to the World Cup from Jamaica. And like Conan said, we have 4 players from the UK and a few from the US. These boys are talented. I don't think we have anything to lose going to the World Cup with such a young team. I mean, a few veterans are on the team that will be, transitioning onto different things, but the younger boys will be leading by example and they'll pave the way. They'll carry the torch for Jamaica rugby.
Right, and speaking about paving the way, of course, any sport you need support from corporate Jamaica and just sponsors on the whole. How has it been for you and for rugby when it comes to getting sponsorship and, of course, support from Jamaica?
Well, Sponsorship. Well, recently we had one of the local banks coming on board who would have supported us in the going to Chile. I wish not to mention the name here for many reasons. That's outside of my jurisdiction. But the support, I mean, we're getting a lot of support now because persons are seeing us more. You know, the more they see us, you know, my company, a big thank you to them who allowed me the time off, time and time again to go and represent my country. I have their full support. I have Jamaica support. You know, people will see me and say, hey, this is a rugby guy, you know. Big up yourself. We never know whether a rugby team, but big up yourself, you know. And that pushes us and encourages us to go out there and do more. But I'll always encourage corporate Jamaica to get on board. We have a lot of international sponsors who are always willing to help, but not so much locally. And so I implore our local corporate community to get on board, support the boys, support the team, support Brand Jamaica, build Brand Jamaica.
And you spoke about getting time off from work. Do you think we're heading in a direction where maybe one day you can just be a rugby player and, of course, earn enough so that you don't need to be battling between a job and training?
Regrettably, for me, personally, this is my last international tournament. I tell myself that this is my last international tournament. I'll be retiring after the World Cup to focus on my professional career. So, I mean, this is the high of my career, actually, but I decided that I want to take a step back and help with some administrative stuff to help build the sport in Jamaica.
How old are you now?
I am 30 years of age. I'll be 31 in a couple of months. And so I decided to take an early retirement because I'm at the top of my game. I want persons to see and remember me in high, you know, to give the younger person something to look up to, something to, you know, I want to lead by example.
So if you were Serena Williams, you would have retired already from tennis?
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
If I was pulling in that amount of money, then definitely not.
I understand.
But, you know,
Conan just referenced, Fabian, the 1998 World Cup qualification team, the Reggae Boys. And there is no secret that the English-based players in that squad, Dion Burton, Paul Hall, Fitzroy Simpson and others, sort of influenced a professionalism inside the local-based players that helped to propel the team forward. Is there anything to be said about Conan and the UK-based players and the impact they have had on the local-based rugby players? Certainly.
I'll have to give them that. They play a lot more rugby than we do locally and with in a high competition. And being around that team help us to understand and appreciate rugby and being professional. Like from getting to training on time, your whole approach to the game, your whole approach to training and your teammates. And I've learned from the inception of playing with the team, I've learned that. And I've always taken a bits and pieces back to Jamaica to impart on my teammates. And whichever sport or whichever competition I'm going, I'm like, hey guys, this is it. When we go out there, we have to be professional because the other teams are being professional. It helped them with their game and lifting their spirit. So the time you take to get focused, it has to be in a heartbeat. You cannot wait and joke around. So hats off to the UK boys for imparting that on us as local players. And I'll definitely be imparting that on more local players so that they can lift their game and lift their attitude.
Fabian, great talking to you here on the SportsMax Zone. Conan, great linking with you as well over there in the UK. Fabian deciding that he's quitting the sport at age 30 to focus on other things. We wish the Rugby Sevens team from Jamaica all the best in Cape Town, South Africa. It's break time. Back with more on the SportsMax Zone after this.